glad that you're here with us tonight because we're going to be talking about superhero horror. And we picked probably the two biggest icons from the 90s to face off. We have Attack of the Mutant from Goosebumps facing off against The Tale of the Ghastly Grinner from Are You Afraid of the Dark?
So these books that are terrible, that are unreadable and are for children, are going to be facing off against each other. Are you excited for that? We got a whole panel here to have these two books face off against each other.
Remember Monster Mates?
Yes.
This reminds me of that, only without the fucking. It's even more boring.
Yes. Yeah, I was wondering why Monster Maze was better than this. You're right. It's the fucking, for sure. So there's only 3 guys on the screen right here. And
they're all the same.
He's going to explain why that is.
Tonight, we are joined with a smaller panel because I guess I'll go ahead and share the news. Bruce and Alex, Goosebumps for Dummies and Goosebumps enthusiasts, have left the podcast due to personal reasons. And we wish them all the best, but they will no longer be on the podcast, at least as of now. Like I said, we still support the guys, and we want you guys to still support them despite them not being on the podcast anymore. But we now have a smaller panel, and we're probably going to be able to do these a lot shorter now. So that's the trade-off.
That's the selling point. It won't be as long and boring.
You get less.
Yeah.
We can all be happy about
40% less.
That's good news. I
Shrinkflation.
suppose, yeah. So I don't know that I want to watch it. If Bruce from Goosebumps for Dummies and Alex from Goosebumps Enthusiasts isn't there.
Why I tuned in.
Bruce is featured in my episode, and I can only assume that his balls dropped and he realized he would never get pussy if he kept doing this. Because he's a child.
Okay.
So he probably got his first pube and was like, I care about pussy now, not Goosebumps.
Well, I hope so. I hope that's the realization he came to.
That's what you're supposed to do.
He did say personal reasons, and having a dry dick is very personal.
Very personal. I can't stop beating off.
So that makes
I'm not
sense.
watching Goosebumps now.
Fuck this shit.
One more clip, and I'll hand it over to you guys. But it's not just those two who are missing. Spongie's not there either. Did you pick up on that as well?
Clearly.
In my episode, Spongie also wasn't there.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I have no
It was
idea who
very
that is.
sad. It was very sad.
Let's find out what's up with Spongie.
And then, of course, Spongie, he is now like pretty much an off-screen panelist for the time being. We have his thoughts in a document, and we'll be reading off his thoughts as we go along as well. But Spongie, we miss you, and we wish that you were here, but we know that you're here in spirit and with your words. So it's glad that everybody is here tonight to talk about some superhero horror, because...
What? No. You just said we're missing Bruce, Alex, and Spongies. I'm glad everyone's here. They're not. No. And by the way, if you can't make it to a podcast, you don't get to write in what you were going to say. I'm saying right now, as a podcast aficionado, I call bullshit on that.
That's in my clip 5. That's exactly what is happening. So 2 of the panel members aren't there. Bruce and Spongie aren't there in the episode that I was checking out. And I don't understand why you would ever read somebody else's thoughts. It's not like on Saturdays when I'm not here. You like send me a message and you're like, what did you think about the boobies that were on?
But he's here in spirit. Ooh, it's so spooky.
If you're not here, I don't care about you.
I think it's because they're so interchangeable that it doesn't fucking matter.
It's possible.
You can plug in words.
Well, also, they're such dorks. They're like, can I do a book report instead?
Yeah, the same.
Can I hand in my assignment? Oh, what's the due date? All right, you want to watch this clip 5?
Yeah, it's just absurd.
Which brings us to Bruce and Spongie's points. BD, you want to go ahead and read off Bruce and Spongie for us so we can move on to the episode?
Nope.
All right, so let's go here.
It takes forever.
Okay, so first I'm going to start off.
You weren't ready for this?
Let's see. I think this is Spongie.
You didn't know he was going to say that to you.
Spongie. So for the Let's Get Invisible book, this is Spongie's thoughts. This book, I think, works and despite itself.
Yeah, and of course I cut it off because who gives a fuck about what this person thinks that couldn't even bother to show up?
Yeah, I mean, that's a lack of charisma like I've never seen before.
Uh-huh.
Not
absolutely.
even showing up. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I phoned it in before, but
Yeah, right.
I never wrote it in.
What else did you pick up on? Lucy?
What I struggled with this show, they actually made some good points. Like some of the analysis that they were making was interesting.
What the fuck just happened?
I know. Calm down. I'm going to insult them. It's fine.
They made some good points about what? Goosebumps?
They were making, okay, if I was into Goosebumps, I think that they might be making some intelligent points.
Wait a minute. Are you into Goosebumps?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. I think I can prove you wrong, but
I'm sure that there are many examples where they did not. The thing that I didn't get, though, is who is this show for? Is this a show that is for adults who like Goosebumps, or is this a show for kids? And so there was a whole bunch of things where I was like, I just don't understand if you guys are pedophiles or if you are not. So in my...
Hopefully the latter.
Yeah, well...
I'm rooting for him.
I can answer that one too.
They were also a little bit concerned about that in my clip 10.
Okay.
Me, and he almost gave kind of like, I hate to say this, but kind of giving me pedophile vibes in some ways, the way he acts.
Yeah, the character in the book is giving off pedophile vibes, not the guys reading the books that are for the tween boys.
Right. I mean, if you do want to build an audience of 11-year-olds, this is probably a good way to do it, I would imagine.
Or be Judas Priest.
I definitely think that they're veering towards targeting children here because in my clip 14, you will notice that they're careful with their language.
If I ever see darkness creeping, you bet your ass I'm going to pick it up. Sorry for my language.
I hope my mom's not watching. I just said, bet your ass. Holy shit. Can John buy this person a ring light, please? I can't see that at all.
That is Alex. And you might notice in the episode that I checked
Alex
out,
is ashamed of being on this show.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that makes nothing but sense. Can you turn on the light? No, I'm good.
Just wear a pink ski mask, for God's sake.
Yeah, like a normal adult.
So you might notice that in this clip, we have all four of the guys on screen, and they're on like a Zoom call thing, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
And they all have their names. So, it says Goosebumps Enthusiast or Completionist.
Yeah.
It says BD Horror.
Yep.
Alex says his name. And then you might notice that Micah says guest user.
On every episode.
This is episode 16.
On every episode, he's guest user.
Learn how to type your
name. Can't bother
name.
to type his name into it. Which is sad because Mike could be getting some kind of bump from this show if only people knew who he was. Andy, what did you pick up on from Goosejunkies?
Yeah, the episode I watched featured Bruce and the completionist, and then the guy on the bottom comes in hot with all these AKAs. So
BD,
this is
he's the cool one.
horror tavern. He's gonna get everybody hyped for the episode where they're gonna talk about the 2015 movie.
He's the one with
Jack
fucking
Black.
swagger. Watch out for
know.
this guy.
Yo, people of the night, it's your boy, the Horror Tavern, a.k.a. Money Mike, a.k.a. the Yin to Ezekiel's Yang, a.k.a. about to go hit up Mrs. Caldwell from the old show, a.k.a. we ready to go and talk about Goosebumps 2015 and Haunted Halloween.
Yeah, well...
Michael Rappaport, he is not.
Yeah. Firstly, AKA, also known as talking about Goosebumps 250. That's what you're doing. That's not that's not what you're known for.
Right.
So
More of a
you
hashtag.
fucked that up too. And also, sounds like when a CEO of a pharmaceutical company comes out and starts rapping about glaucoma medicine. That's what you sound like right now. Not fucking
Can
cool
you do
at
some
all.
of that for us?
Yeah.
Can I give you? Let me give you my example real quick. Some of this was in the teaser last week, but
Yo, people and patrons of the night. It is your boy. I am BD, the baby mama bandit, the greatest supervillain out here right now in Chicago. And welcome back to the podcast. I wish I could also work 3-hour shifts because I am packed up this week in terms of working. But I'm excited because now it's the evening. We get to chill. And we're going to be talking about some fun segments because the stories that we're going to be discussing today are probably some of the most divisive amongst Goosebumps. And you're going to get some different takes in this episode. So I hope you guys are excited for our opinion. And of course, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's free. The economy is expensive. And if you don't, the baby mama bandit is coming after you.
Baby Mama Bandit.
Yeah.
Is anyone buying this?
No.
I'm not buying these. He's got a bunch of baby mamas.
I'm not hitting like, so is he coming after me?
Yeah, he might be.
Oh, fuck.
I like that he goes, guys, we're covering some controversial topics today, so we're going to have some different opinions. Spoiler, they don't. They all feel the same way. They're all like, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
And which is crazy too, because you would think if they've devoted themselves, especially the Goosebumps enthusiast guy who does a whole channel on this shit, if they devoted themselves to this, you'd think they'd find like what's good about these books that are not made for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of kids' horror media revolved around superheroes. And when it is there, it's very hit or miss in terms of quality I've come across.
Yeah, you think?
Very niche.
Yeah, kids' superhero horror books are hit or miss. They're not very good. There's not a lot of them. No shit. I'm not surprised. All right, I'm going to play this clip for you guys because it starts off with, BD, can you break down the book for us? And I got to give it to BD. He's well rehearsed, or he knows his shit. He does a good job. He's not stuttering or stammering. He does a good job presenting all of this, but it's too much. This format is not good at all. This is what the book is about.
So what's the book about? This book takes place with the main character, Skipper. And Skipper might identify with some of you guys. In fact, Goosebumps completionist background relates in some way to Skipper because he is a collector like a lot of us. He collects comic books and he keeps them in the plastic wrapping. Of course, he tries to build them up for their value.
Sped up to 2x speed.
Captain America comic and Spawn. So those are cool little
3x speed.
Wilson collects stamps. They're both collectors. They don't understand. They're pretty much good friends.
7x speed. These guys are just staring. Who would find this entertaining?
Oh my God.
9x speed.
Holy shit.
By the way, my software doesn't go fast.
Is he just reading the book?
I tried. He's not reading anything. He's just all off the top of his head, which is impressive. If it weren't so fucking boring.
Yes. This is how you filibuster.
It's so inconsequential what he's talking about, too. I can't even.
Oh my God.
It's insane. This is how the show starts. They dare you to watch the show.
And BD is not the host, right?
No, he's
That's
not.
my big complaints with the book. I know this book is very much loved. I don't personally feel that way. I can get
Which is
some of
why
the
I just
iconic
said
stuff
all that.
behind it.
All
But
day, he's like,
definitely
by the way, it's not even
very
very
good.
good.
The characters are okay. The plot structure is not that good. There's a big underlying mystery, but it's not the worst thing I've read. This is a pretty average book. It does have some fun stuff in it, and I commend it for that. I just wish there was more of it.
Oh my
and there was a
God,
better
shut up.
structure. So those are my thoughts. I'm very interested to hear both of you guys.
Is he?
You've said it all.
Wow.
My God.
That was insane. And I didn't know how else to present that, just to demonstrate how awful that is.
So he did something very similar in my episode too, in my clip 7. He's describing the end of a story. And again, he's kind of enchanting. He's a good storyteller.
He is.
Overall.
If it weren't about Goosebumps.
Yeah. And also if he would shut up a little bit. My problem with this
You're a good storyteller, but you need to shut up a little bit.
My problem with him telling the story in my clip 7 is that he's a great storyteller until he isn't, and it turns out that he cannot imitate a gruff voice, which he tries to do.
And the window, to this truck opens. An icy cold mist comes up, and he hears a deep, gruff, sad voice inside the truck of this man going, "All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey thought 'twas all in fun. Pop goes the weasel." And then you get some dimension warping, some
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it goes on and on and on. But I really enjoyed him singing that. And then in my clip 8, I was really wondering, but what do the monkey and the weasel represent?
I don't see an 8 on here.
Well, then, never mind.
It goes from 7 to 9. I'm sorry. What was I going to say?
The
Do you remember?
The monkey is the kid and the weasel is the creamy cold ice cream.
Oh.
I was like, that's an uncomfortable way to describe that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Well, now I don't have to watch this episode. That's good.
It's definitely creepy.
So we heard that he had this hot take after he went through the entire thing. He's like, by the way, it's not very good. I didn't like it. But what I want to know is Mika's take. Because as they said in the beginning there, like, watch out. We're going to have some differing opinions and things are going to get wild.
He jumped up ahead of his reading schedule to read this. So, Micah, what's your thoughts on the book?
The book, it was okay. It's a very middle of the road Goosebumps book. I literally gave it a 5 out of 10. It's like right in the middle for me.
Okay, great. So you guys are both just like, it's not that good. Good. You shouldn't think it's that good, by the way.
Right.
And this fucking guy who's like really into this the most, he's almost figuring out that he shouldn't like this stuff.
Yeah. To add on to what both of you said, to preface this was a childhood favorite book of mine, but now as I read it as an adult, I kind of see why I loved it as a kid. And I'll get into that, but it's more for the superficialness of it. It's for the fact that it's a superhero book in Goosebumps.
Yeah, they're finding plot holes and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, this was not like made for you guys to critique it this way. You know that, right? Just for a 12-year-old to read.
Oh,
It's fun watching
Has
him
no
discover
friends.
that live.
Yeah, right? Just like, this is my favorite book as a kid. I read it now and I'm like, wow, I was an idiot.
right.
Yeah.
Now, since you mentioned that, in my clip 4, they're talking about a scene in the movie that BD, he's on the bottom right there. He's just like,
The baby
Come
mama,
on.
baby mama bandit.
yeah. Can you believe this happened in the Goosebumps movie in clip 4?
The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. I like his design. I like the fact that he's 10 feet tall. I like the fact that he's imposing. This guy gets beat by a couple of kids with hockey sticks, a Zamboni, a vending machine, and a 6-foot-tall plexiglass. I mean, this guy is a bumbling idiot. You would expect this 10-foot-tall Yeti to be threatening. You would expect them to put respect on Abominable Snowman's man. No, that man is getting thrown around like a hockey puck. He is a complete joke. And that's when I realized that the movie was kind of going more for a comedic route.
It's not even scary.
Yeah, I know. The cryptozoic creature that doesn't exist in real life. Can you believe he was portrayed unrealistically in a
Goofy, right.
movie for children?
Well, it's funny because I have another clip on here where they're talking about the TV show and the episode that was based on this book. And again, Mike has got a hot take on this.
And that's the main problem with this episode. It's not scary.
It shouldn't be scary. You're an adult. It should not be scary to you. But then he goes on to prove he's an idiot.
There is nothing remotely scary about this episode one bit. There's so many I don't know. I've said my piece. I don't really know what else I can say about it that's positive or negative. I'm very neutral to just hate this episode.
That's not what neutrality is at all. Here, I'm neutral on this. I hate it. Wait, what? Okay. That's stupid. I don't expect them to be smart. They get together once a week and talk about Goosebumps.
Right.
And Are You Afraid of the Dark? So,
Well, I mean, the completionist it's like John conducting a political conversation. He says almost nothing the whole time. He just lets that one kid ramble on and on for 20 minutes
Great.
straight. But
Good
in
stuff.
clip 5, he finally chimes in, and we were trying to figure out if this was for pedophiles or not.
Okay.
He finally says something, and it's this.
And I've actually had conversations with people who were like, around the age of 10 or 12.
Okay.
okay. Yeah, that's not good. Whatever Discord the server this guy's on, he should get kicked off probably.
Yeah, he also has an uncomfortable love of a child actor. That he goes off on for a little bit, which is my clip 6.
You already brought up the acting in this episode. Some of my least favorite acting of the whole Goosebumps show as a whole. Pretty much every character minus Noah, who's played by Kevin Zegers. I love Kevin Zegers. He was in Air Bud. He was in a ABC Family movie I used to watch a lot called The Hollow. Big fan of you out there if you're watching, Kevin.
Don't run, Kevin. Run. Just run.
The problem is he grew up, so that sucks.
Yeah.
But an ABC Family movie I used to watch a lot.
And Air Bud.
Has anyone ever said that before?
No.
These people need to grow the fuck up.
That's pretty much the only thing that he said in the entire episode that I watched.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Was I really liked this guy when he was a child actor.
well, you guys know he does solo stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when he's doing his solo stuff, he gets into the important issues that are going on in the Goosebumps community, which we don't talk about a lot on WATP, and I feel like to the detriment of our audience, because we're not addressing these hot button issues that need to be discussed.
I'm putting in my notes.
Hey guys, it's Goosebumps Completionist.
By the way, the title of this video is "It Needs to Be Said." The gaslighting and gatekeeping over the new Goosebumps show needs to stop.
I have something that needs to be said. And it's about the toxicity going on in the fandom right now in Goosebumps. ever since Friday when the new show dropped, people are coming after each other, being so hostile and angry on both sides.
I've really pretended to care about the Nick Rekieta Aaron thing that's going on. This is really what I'm interested in. This is what I stay up all night.
I'm thinking of Rodney King's speech pleading for some semblance of sanity.
Please, I know you like the show, that guy doesn't like the show, but you both go home to families. Remember that. We're all just people. It's fucking ridiculous. All right, what else did you pick up on, Lucy?
God, this was a really, really hard watch for me. I did not enjoy any of it.
Yeah, that's the assignment.
Yeah.
That's what this show is. I love when people come on WTP and they're just like, this podcast made me watch sucks. Yep.
That's the goal.
That's it. We did it again, everyone. Nailed it.
So I did really enjoy. So you said Alex had left the show by the time that you were watching the episode.
Yeah.
Alex is a really, really weird dude.
You don't say.
Yeah, weirder than I think the rest somehow.
Might have guessed that.
He is very protective of the kiddos, and so in clip 11, he also is describing curfews, but he doesn't seem to have an understanding of curfews.
Okay.
Now, I do have an issue, and nobody's mentioned this before. I'm surprised. What suburban neighborhood lets a kid go out bike riding at the dead of night? It's like 10 p.m. God damn. It is so dark out there, too. It's not even like a light dark. It is like pitch black out there. Very dark. And this kid's going bike riding.
Like you're set.
I don't know if this is normal, but it is very much not normal here. You're not allowed to pass 8 p.m. If you're a minor. So
he's not allowed out after 8 p.m.
That is not legal, and these parents just let him go out willy-nilly to ride.
So later in the episode, he brings this up again because he's so obsessed with the bike riding. He's completely stuck on the bike riding in clip 12.
I think he was always grounded.
Oh, no.
Buddy, let him out.
It's kind of plot convenience. 4th of July, so a parent-child way, plot convenience in the story. He can go bike riding at night because that's apparently legal in this universe.
It's legal in the Goosebumps universe.
Let it go, buddy.
To go riding a bike.
It's apparently legal in this universe.
At night. Completely absurd. I did learn one thing, though, and the thing that I learned from this show was actually in the comment section. So this is a comment on episode 16 from Goosebumps AI. He is talking about one of the episodes and books, short stories that they were reviewing, which is called Catching Cold. So he says, never thought of catching cold being related to addiction, but I see it now. Reminds me of a friend of mine from college who was addicted to butt hash. Really weird. Everyone in his frat would drink beer while he'd brew butt hash. We all have our preferences, I guess. And I was like, what the fuck is butt hash?
Is that worse than riding your bike after dark?
Is that like
it's more illegal for sure.
Okay.
Butt hash apparently is a combination of piss and shit.
That's
and
jankum.
then you turn it into
Ferment
fumes.
it?
Yeah. Why do you know what this is?
That's an old
trucker thing.
yeah. Everybody's doing it at the truck stops. That was like a gag that you would perpetrate on idiots. Like, hey, why don't you mix your piss and shit together and inhale it and you get really high? It was a prank.
Well, the Goosebumps fandom, apparently there's some crossover with the people who like to do that. Okay. I don't know.
How long do you ferment it for? I want to try this.
I'm sure you could get a recipe online.
I want to get high off my own farts. People say that I do already, so I'm about to try it. Sounds pretty sweet. So do you think that was a fake comment, or do you think that's a real comment?
No, I think that's a real comment. I went and looked into Goosebumps AI because obviously it sounds like maybe it might be an AI. It's not.
It's not? Oh, yeah, I figured it was.
No, there's no intelligence, artificial or real, in this community.
That's like a 20-year-old bit that they're just pulling back out.
Yeah.
Maybe it was in one of the books, one of the scary books.
I feel like I learned something.
What did you learn, Lucy?
About butt hash.
Oh.
I learned that
Me too.
Goosebumps is like the hard seltzer of of horror. It's like I want to get scared and drink, but I hate bourbon and John Carpenter's The Thing, so I'm gonna drink White Claw and watch Goosebumps because I'm a pussy. I don't know why these guys aren't just watching like real horror movies.
Right, when they say it's not scary, it's like, well, yeah, no, it's not. It's definitely not scary.
Go watch Army of Darkness. That's not scary and fun.
It's also not scary.
It's a great movie though.
It's fun.
Andy, name a scary movie.
Army of Evil Dead.
Okay.
No. Evil Dead?
What?
What's a scary movie?
John Carpenter's The Thing.
There we go.
All right.
That's why you mentioned that.
Now we're talking. Lucy, anything else you want to play for us?
That's all I got.
Anything, Andy, anything you want to play for us?
Nah, well, why don't we check in? Bruce wasn't there, but there's a lot of talk about Bruce.
Oh, okay.
So let's play clip 2 because Bruce is going to show up and do his best horror tavern BD impression where he explains the plot of Goosebumps 2015.
Now, what happens is it turns out not to be actual like child.
So wait, he is prepubescent then, right?
This is who should be talking about Goosebumps.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Now, what happens is it turns out not to be actual like child abuse or anything of that nature.
Ray
but it's
DeVito?
actually like a whole
That's a young Ray DeVito. He literally has a drawing of like a Halloween thing that he obviously did himself on the wall. This is all right. I'm sorry.
It's got a grade on it.
movie or something. And what eventually happens is they get more curious, and him and his friend Champ go back to the house, break in, and accidentally unlock a Goosebumps book. Now, the Goosebumps book comes to life, and basically a pandemonium happens where, you know, domino after domino, Goosebumps books are getting released until Slappy comes to life, and all hell breaks loose. The city goes wild, and it's kind of like a monster apocalypse with just tons and tons of Goosebumps monsters roaming the city. People are dying, people are getting hurt, and they need to save the world. If anyone wants to take this, you can go ahead.
Where? To the dump? This is garbage. But this is the guy that was too good to keep doing the show.
Right, he had the personal reason.
Yeah.
I guess, like we were saying, puberty.
Yeah.
It's like, I should learn how to play guitar or something instead of read these books, probably.
Exactly.
Girls only want guys who have skills.
He's also obscuring his identity with the sunglasses.
That's true. That's smart.
He's very cool. He's the coolest one
Robo
in the show.
Shitstain posted in Discord and said, "Too good for this shit, moving up in the world." You know that was the email that he sent out to these guys. All right. Well, that's enough of this horse shit known as Goose Junkies. These guys are addicted to the goose.
Who are these podcasts? WA